Hi everyone, my name is Dave Dubay. I'm a product manager at Cisco. And I want to give a brief overview of the Cisco Technical Support mobile application for iOS and Android devices. If you go to iTunes, Google Play, or the Amazon Android App Store, you can download it. Just do a quick search for Cisco Technical Support, and it'll be the first thing that pops up. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the app. The app in and of itself, one of the first things you'll notice is there are circles with numbers off to the right. And each one of those numbers are representing sub-channels underneath each menu option that has new content since I last visited. So for instance, if I go into videos, I'll see a number of channels there that are available. The ones with the blue dots actually have new content since I went in or entered in one of those sub-channels. So to highlight a few that might be of interest, the Cisco Support Communities is a very informative one. TechWise TV, a lot of folks enjoy those videos. And then lastly, I do want to highlight the TAC Security podcast. We have a couple TAC engineers who have been they just literally started within the last couple weeks, a new video blog through YouTube. And you can go in and follow what they're putting together. Some great tips and tricks for troubleshooting your ASA firewall and firepower applications. So highly recommended. Go check it out. Also, we have RSS feeds. So we have a number of marketing related items up towards the top, and then towards the bottom, we get to more product specific RSS feeds. So end of life notices are available to you as well. The list will open up and you can dive into each one of those. Likewise, some security related RSS feeds like Cisco security advisories or security responses. It's a nice convenient way to actually drill down into information which might help you maintain and manage your networks. And then lastly, our TAC engineering organization, our engineers routinely will put together essentially cheat sheets, that help them resolve issues. So if they find a problem or find that they're troubleshooting a particular issue over and over and over, they'll whip up a cheat sheet and share it amongst their colleagues. And then the ones that are proven to be essentially the best of the best, we clean those up, we publish them, externalize them, and we're making them available through the app. And one way to there's a lot of documents you'll notice through here, but one quick way to drill down and filter out pretty quickly, let's say we were to filter based on the Nexus 7000, immediately that list reduced from well over 2,000 documents down to less than 50. We can jump in to the results from there and then further refine the list. Let's say we want to do a filtering based on Flash, and now we're immediately down to one document, so that's quite handy. And that document will load. If you tap on the little icon on the bottom, you can either email it or copy that link. You can even send it to Pocket, which is a read it later service. Highly recommended as well. It is a third-party app. You can download it from the respective app stores. To control those numbers off to the right, what is actually being bubbled up in terms of what's new content or not. If you go into settings, up at the top, you'll see areas to set new content and app notifications for videos, feeds, and podcasts. So if we go into the feeds, we decided we want to turn off, let's say, some of the marketing items, we can do that. Likewise, if we want to just turn the entire feed off, we could do that. Or if we turn it back on, we haven't lost any of the prior settings. So that's kind of handy to have. And once you set that, it's actually associated with your profile. So if you happen to have multiple devices, setting it on one will apply to all of your devices as well. The app also supports push notifications. If you drive in here, we send out push notifications depending upon the availability, obviously. But in the case of security advisories, we monitor the security advisor RSS feed once every 4 hours. If we see a new security advisory, we send a push notification out to everybody. If you don't want to receive those, then you just swipe and turn it off. For support cases, if you open a case, regardless of where you open it up, we will send you a push notification whenever a TAC engineer is assigned to your case, or when the case transitions from a Cisco pending state to a customer pending state. Likewise, we will send a push notification to the TAC engineer whenever the case transitions from a customer pending state to a Cisco pending state. But if you don't want to get those, you can turn them off. Just toggle and boom, you're all done. That setting is applied to your ID. It applies to all your devices. Otherwise, if you turn it back on, then you'll get those notifications. And then lastly, end of life notices. Once a day, we check in the background if there's a new feed. new element, we will send you out a push notification. And in each case, if you tap on the notification, we'll take you immediately to that content in question. Towards the bottom, in terms of case information, if you prefer to see the timestamps, say the time that a case was created or it was updated, if you prefer to see that in your local time zone, you can just toggle that little switch and automatically it will adjust for you. So if you happen to, let's say you're in the United States and you hop on a plane on the East Coast, fly to California, after you've landed, the app will automatically adjust for you and start translating that from the East Coast time zone to the West Coast time zone. If you have it off, then that's refreshing my user credentials here in the background, but if you turn it off, then everything will be relative to the UTC time zone. So that's a quick view of all the freely available utilities. I take that back. There's one other option, the Cisco Support Communities. If you do not have a SmartNet, or I should say a SmartNet Total Care support contract to be exact, you can use the Cisco Support Communities to interact with your colleagues. There's a number of different message areas or product areas that you can go in and ask questions. There's a plethora of fantastic VIPs from our partners to Cisco employees that day in, day out, they go above and beyond and they'll answer your questions without having to have a support contract. So it's a very valuable resource. Jumping into the utilities that do require a SmartNet Total Care contract, if you go into cases and contracts, you can manage all of your support cases. So my open cases would be cases that I have created. All open cases would be all open cases associated with my contracts that I have on my profile. So if a colleague opens a case, they go on PTO, I can go in and follow their case, tag it, if you will, and get notifications on that and monitor it while they're on PTO. You can also search. You can even open a case. So let's actually start with that. Let's go ahead and try to open a case. We've embedded a barcode scanner within the app. So you can scan the barcode that's on the device. You pick which severity that it pertains to you, select the technology, the sub-technology, and the problem type. So let's say we've got a hardware failure, and then all you need to do is type in the title and the description of the case, and that's all you have to do. Likewise, you can actually use the speech to text capability, the little microphone that's on the bottom there of the keyboard. That's another easy way to actually get information into the app as well. And you can go ahead and submit. Once the case is submitted, it gets routed, it goes to attack engineer, and that's when we send you that push notification so that you can contact your attack engineer immediately. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that case because we just don't want to open a case at the moment. If we go to one of our cases, we separate out where the case is in terms of who's responsible for pushing that case through its life cycle. So in this case, there's no cases in the customer pending state, but there's one in the Cisco pending state. We could tap into the case. One of the things you'll immediately notice is we highlight the attack engineer, and underneath there is a link you can tap on where you can email or call that attack engineer directly. It is their desk phone. It's not the 1-800 number. If you don't happen to reach them, leave a voicemail message. They'll return the call or get back to you in another format, but that is available for you. It's unique to the app. Likewise, all the notes that are associated with a case, they're here. This one happens to have a lot. It is a test case. But if you drill into any one of the notes, you can go from one case to another by swiping from right to left or left to right, or you can use the little arrows on the bottom and you can manage your notes that way. If you swipe down and release, it will load the most recent information. So this is live data. Also, the action icon up at the top, that's a way where you can add a quick note, attach a photo, or request a status update. You can turn on or off notifications on that particular case. So you see that blue bell went away. If we go back in, we turn that on. That blue bell will indicate that we will always receive a push notification whenever that case changes a state. So if it moves from one state to another, we'll let you know. And then lastly, if we want to reference this, this case happens to be in my shortcuts from the case already. I can remove that and I'll take it away from my shortcuts. If I go ahead and go back in, it'll add that back in. The shortcuts are a way that you can tag information within the app for easy reference, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Cisco My Devices, I've done another YouTube video on this, you can check that out, but it's an easy way to manage your install base. So you can add devices by one of three different ways. You can either manually type in a serial number or use the barcode scanner to actually add a device. You can upload a CSV file, not through the app actually. On the website you'd have to upload it through the website. Or you could enter in a contract number, I take that back, enter in a serial number that's associated with a contract number on your profile, and then the utility will look to find all of your other contracts. So this is our way of doing a two-factor authentication. It'll find all the devices that are associated with your contracts and give you the opportunity to upload those into your collection. And then once you're there, you can run reports like contract renewal reports. So we've got 3 devices that are going to fall off contract within or more than a year from now. There's 81 devices that are not covered. We can do product lifecycle reports, last day of support, so 3 devices are no longer can you get support on, end of sale, end of service renewal, end of software maintenance, all that is available. You can drill down to each one of these, get a list of all the devices, and manage your collection that way. We also have the ability to look at your contracts. I happen to, with this particular account, I've already put in a reminder, but if you haven't done that, you'll see a little calendar icon that'll be off to the right of the expiration date. If you tap on that, it will insert a reminder that will pop up 60 and 90 days prior to your contract expiring, letting you know how you can go about renewing your contract. So that's another handy little utility there. And lastly, within this area, you can actually use the app to look up support contract information about your particular device. So if we hit the little camera icon there, we can use that same barcode scanner and look up information about the device. If the serial number is on a contract not associated with your profile, we'll always show you whether or not that device is covered. There's that little green checkbox or check mark. If you scroll down, you can get information. In this case, that serial number is associated with one of my contracts, so I can see the details of that contract, warranty information, and even where it's installed. If I realize that that device is showing up as at an incorrect location, I can just tap on the change link right above the map, and that'll help you initiate a request. Just type in the information of where that device is actually located, and somebody within Cisco will contact you to make sure that that is exactly what you wanted to do. Next area, bug search. So a slightly different twist on the bug search utility found on the web. We try to take a view of maybe a Google-like search view. So if we do a search for Cisco 7200 router crash, we'll get a list of a number of cases, a number of bugs associated with that. You can see we're showing the first 300 of 1700 that we saw. Let's say we want to refine that list a little bit more. We can go back in and see if I can remember a OS version, a correct OS version. And all of a sudden that list, that 1700 plus bugs, got reduced down to what looks to be about 5, if I can count correctly. And if we jump into any one of those, we'll give you details about the same details that you would get from the bug search tool you can get on your phone. And you can actually add that as well to your shortcuts. And just to show you what that looks like, if you go all the way up to the top, remember how you had we had shortcutted that support case, so it's up there, up at the top, and then the bug we just shortcutted, that's available there as well. So it's a quick and easy way to actually jump throughout the app and reference things. Within the tools, we do have an SSH telnet client. It's very basic. It's kind of a very dumbed down version of our Cisco CLI analyzer. Again, this is intended to be if you're out about, just needed to do a quick check. Let's say somebody had an issue, or there's an error being reported on one of the devices, and you not happen to be at your at that location. You can SSH your telnet into that device and check out what's going on and maybe make a couple tweaks and get things back up and running. We do have the IPsec overhead calculator, and lastly, there's the Cisco reseller locator. At the very bottom, we do have a help area. You can get more information about the app. There is a user guide here. And I think the last piece I forgot was the product docs and downloads. Actually, this is another area of free content. You could do a search on 5505. Let's say you had an ASA 5505. You can look up information about that. Maybe I'm reduplicating what I've previously discussed, but that is available for you as well. Documentation, software downloads, most recent software downloads related to that device, those are easily accessible. And then one last piece for those unique who happen to have a 3D touch enabled iOS based device. We have supported 3D touch. So if you do a hard press on the app icon, you can go and jump immediately to check device coverage, or go to My Devices, or Open a Case, or look at My Open Cases. So that'll launch the app, take you immediately to My Open Cases, and then when I'm done, it takes you to the top. And that's it. Quick overview of the Cisco Technical Support mobile app. Hope you appreciate it. If you have any comments, please add them to the feed, and we will contact you shortly. Thanks. Have a good day.